Part 26. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 251. Hearing this, Kylan became furious. Does this guy think he is a fool? Such an excuse could actually come out of his mouth. In an instant, Kylan released majestic chi, and the endless chi turned into a sea of black ink and enveloped the entire Demon Tang army. You monstrous ant, how dare you fool me like this? Today, I will make sure you never come back. Roar. With a roar, the sea of ink surged, and countless phantoms of mythical beasts emerged from the sea of ink. Seeing such a terrifying scene, Chai Xiao broke out in cold sweat behind his back and cursed in his heart. Damn it! He is just a fairy-level general. The Demon Tang infantry under his command are just ordinary soldiers, let alone elites. I originally wanted to take this opportunity to sneak attack Longhan's army, but unexpectedly, I encountered Kylan. Chai Xiao immediately used demonization. The monster's fangs and claws made Chai Xiao's energy surge. Sensing Chai Xiao's change, Kylan narrowed his eyes slightly. Are you going to resist? Sure enough, only the prey that resists can arouse my interest. Come on, I will give you a chance. As long as you can defeat me, I will let you live. Try to resist me with all your strength. Otherwise, this battle would be too boring. Kylan started to get excited. After practicing for so long, he has also been Lu Jin's mount for so long. It has almost forgotten that it is the king of the Kylan clan, Kylan, who is the best at fighting. After finally waiting for a chance to fight, Long Jia and Wen Chu took the lead. As the two were divine puppets refined by Lu Jin, Kylan naturally did not dare to complain. But now, facing the demonized Chai Xiao, it felt the will to fight. Strong fighting spirit. Bring it on. At least let me stretch my legs. But just when Kylan was full of expectations, Chai Xiao suddenly changed direction. Boom! The soil beneath his feet cracked inch by inch, and Chai Xiao quickly disappeared from the spot with lightning speed. And he appeared again, already 100 meters away. Seeing this scene, Kylan finally understood. This guy had no intention of fighting him from the beginning. He doesn't even care about the life or death of these monster infantry. As long as he can survive, that's enough. Damn it! I still think you are a bloody guy. Now it seems that you are just a mediocre person. Facing Kylan's ridicule, Chai Xiao chuckled without any shame. Bloody. Can blood save one's life? Can blood help you survive? He is a military commander in the Demon Tang dynasty, a military commander in the immortal realm, and he is the best in any dynasty. Rather than die here, nameless. It is better to run away and escape to other countries. With his own cultivation, surviving in other dynasties is not a problem. But the next second, Kylan suddenly appeared in front of him, scaring Chai Xiao to stop suddenly. Damn it! Is it that fast? But Chai Xiao didn't hesitate at all, turned around and immediately ran in the other direction. In another direction, Kylan's figure appeared again. What? To Kylan? How can this be? Soon, Chai Xiao realized that this must be an illusion created by Kylan. Thinking of this, Chai Xiao didn't hesitate at all. With his true energy bursting out, he struck at Kylan in front of him. But the next second, Kylan raised his front paws. Boom! With one slap, Chai Xiao was knocked directly into the ground and couldn't extricate himself. Seeing this, Kylan stepped down again. Huge force came, and Chai Xiao's bones began to make a cracking sound. I thought you could make me entertained, but now it seems that I miscalculated. Kylan showed no mercy, and the aura of the divine human realm burst out. Boom! With a loud noise, the whole earth shook. Outside Yazhu city, Lu Jin also received system notifications one after another. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous character Meng Tian and receiving a colorful saint-level defense gift pack. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous character Chai Xiao and getting the golden legendary beast controlling gift pack. 2 system prompts and 2 treasure chests. As for the golden legendary treasure chest, Lu Jin naturally ignored it. His eyes were focused on the 7-colored saint-level treasure chest. Lu Jin immediately took out the colorful holy treasure box, and the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Do you want to spend 10 million gold coins to upgrade the colorful saint-level defense treasure box to the colorful saint-level national fortune treasure box? 10 million gold coins. Good guy. Another upgrade tip. Ding! Do you want to open the colorful saint-level luck treasure chest? Answer, yes. As Longhan's territory continues to expand, major chambers of commerce have also been established one after another. Quality colorful holy products. Ding! Do you want to spend 20 million gold coins to upgrade the colorful saint-level national luck treasure box to the colorful saint-level luck treasure box? And Lu Jin didn't hesitate at all and upgraded again. Checking the attributes, it turns out that the attribute effect of this prop is as simple and crude as I imagined. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful holy level prop pilgrimage card of all nations. Upgrade. Name treasure chest upgrade card. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful saint level luck treasure chest. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful saint-level national fortune treasure box. This may be the most expensive upgrade Lu Jin has encountered so far. All props? Lu Jin just thought for a moment, and the name of a treasure box appeared in his mind. Shen Wanzhen personally manages it, and Longhan's monthly tax revenue alone now amounts to hundreds of millions of gold coins. This treasure chest is a treasure chest that I spent 30 million gold coins to upgrade. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful holy level prop treasure box upgrade card. System, can I use the treasure chest upgrade card on the National War treasure chest? Second consecutive upgrade gift pack. Now that Longhan's country is strong and its people are wealthy, gold coins are nothing to Lu Jin. The name of this card made Lu Jin couldn't help but become curious. I really want to see what kind of items can be found in this treasure box. Effect after use, any treasure chest can be upgraded to a level. Open. Upgrade any treasure chest by 1 level. Lu Jin first took out the treasure chest upgrade card. But for Lu Jin now, 10 million gold coins are nothing. Lu Jin couldn't help but laugh. He was a general of Xianqin, and the treasure chests he exploded were so terrifying. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful holy level prop 1-day enlightenment card. A series of prop prompts made Lu Jin frown slightly. National War treasure chest. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 252. Can use. At this moment, Lu Jin began to feel excited. You know, the current National War treasure box has reached the red god level. Lu Jin couldn't imagine what kind of quality a red treasure chest could be that was above the god level. He couldn't even imagine what kind of heaven-defying treasures could be found after the red god level treasure chest was improved in quality. Action is worse than excitement. Lu Jin decisively chose to use the prop treasure box to upgrade the card. Ding! Please select the treasure chest or gift pack you want to upgrade. Upgrade, National War treasure box. Ding! Congratulations on successfully using the treasure chest to upgrade the card. Ding! Congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorless ultimate National War treasure chest. Colorless to the highest level. At this moment, the National War treasure box in Lu Jin's backpack seemed to have returned to its original nature, quickly losing all its luster. If anything, it was once a dazzling gem. So, now it has become a piece of warm jade. And at the moment when Lu Jin obtained the colorless Ultimate National War Treasure Box, the system's prompt sounded in Lu Jin's ears. Ding! Congratulations on becoming the first lord in thousands of years to obtain a colorless ultimate item. You hereby start the only mission one person in the ages. The first lord in thousands of years to obtain a colorless ultimate item. In other words, even though centuries-old lords have never obtained the colorless ultimate treasure chest. Lu Jin was overjoyed. It seemed that this colorless ultimate treasure box was indeed unique enough. At this time, Lu Jin set his sights on that task. The only mission. In other words, this task can only be done by Lu Jin. Task name: one person through the ages. Task difficulty: none. Task requirement: obtain 100 million war points. Task reward: the quality of the treasures in the colorless ultimate treasure chest is improved by 1 level. After reading the mission panel, Lu Jin couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth slightly. 100 million war points. For other lords, this may be an astronomical figure. But for Lu Jin, 100 million war points is just a drop in the bucket. Now Long Han goes deep into the hinterland of Yaotang and starts a full-scale war with Yaotang. The 3 surrounding countries were at war with Long Han at the same time and fell into the whirlpool of war. In other words, a total of 5 dynasties, including Long Han, are now trapped in this war quagmire. 5 dynasties are fighting in a melee, and it couldn't be easier to get 100 million points from it. Just in time, the treasured conquest order should come in handy. Lu Jin took out his treasured conquest order. Fortunately, I originally planned to use the conquest order on powerful dynasties like Xian Qin or Xiaoxia. Therefore, during the annexation of Yaotang, the conquest order was not used to open the dungeon. Unexpectedly, the plan could not keep up with the changes. Now Yaotang is already a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, and he just needs war points. The remaining defeated soldiers should be enough for me to obtain 100 million war points to complete the mission. Thinking of this, Lu Jin decisively chose the conquest order and prepared to give Yaotang the final blow. Squeeze the last value of Yaotang. Ding! Do you want to use the conquest order? Use. Ding! The conquest order has been activated, and it has been detected that Long Han, Yaotang, Xian Qin, Wu Ming, and Dao Song are at war at the same time. Ding! Congratulations to the Lord for successfully opening the large-scale war dungeon 5 Kingdoms Chaos. For a time, all the lords of the dynasty saw the system prompt tone. System announcement: the Lord of the Long Han dynasty Lu Jin successfully opened the large-scale war dungeon 5 Kingdoms Chaos. System announcement: the large-scale war dungeon 5 Kingdoms Chaos has been opened. This dungeon is an open dungeon. Any lord can participate in it and join any camp of the 5 countries. System announcement: because this dungeon is the first large-scale dungeon, the 5 times war points mode is hereby enabled. Looking at the system announcement in the channel, the lords of Longxia and even the whole world became enthusiastic. 5 times the war points. This is a great time to make a fortune. Xiao Xia Xiao Huo, I read that right, 5 times the war points. This is a great opportunity to make a fortune. 3 days. Thinking of this, Lu Jin came back to his senses and looked in the direction of Chang'an City in the distance. Lu Jin didn't think that he had destroyed the 3 armies of the other 3 dynasties, and that the other parties could still communicate with him calmly. We must speed up our pace. Although the situation was far beyond his expectation, the result was still within his tolerance. Moreover, the opening of large-scale war dungeons is not a bad thing for me. Within 3 days, Yaotang must be destroyed. System, you'd better give me an explanation. Unexpectedly, the conquest order actually judged the dungeon camp based on the state of war. Yaotang, we can't stay any longer. Now with the help of large war dungeons, plus the temptation of 5 times the war dungeons. He was clearly using the command of conquest against Yaotang. Wu Minglan Shan He, haha, as long as you dare to come, I don't mind hanging your heads on the wall of the border city. Except for Xianqin, Lu Jin didn't pay attention to the other three dynasties at all. Lu Jin touched his chin, without any nervous look on his face. What's the situation? Answer: because of this, the conquest order treats the four dynasties as a whole and includes them in the war copy at the same time. With Lu Jin's current background, it would not be a problem to destroy Dao Song, Wu Ming, and Yao Tang while resisting Xianqin. Answer: the order of conquest can only be used against the country that the Lord is hostile to now. Yao Tang, Xianqin, Wu Ming, Dao Song all have war disputes with the Lord's dynasty. Why did the order of conquest actually go to war with the other four dynasties at the same time? This was something I had never thought about. Only in this way can you get the most time to plan wars against other dynasties. I believe that Wu Ming would have fallen into the harassment of Gui Yuan if he had not taken action. Gui Yuan, who was near Wu Ming, had been eyeing Wu Ming for a long time. Lu Jin looked at the chaotic channel with a confused expression on his face. Hitting 1 is still a hit, hitting 2 is still a hit. Wu Ming Lin Shan he, this Long Han is too arrogant, he actually dares to open a war dungeon against our four dynasties at the same time. Gui Yuan Chamushan, wonderful, wonderful, take a look at the camp of the war dungeon. A state of war? Lu Jin set a goal for himself. Even the lords of other dynasties did not take action. You should know that in addition to yourself, lords from other dynasties can also join the war copy. It just so happens that I can still get a lot of war points. Since you want to fight, let's start fighting directly. Giwan Chamushan, GGG, as long as I join other camps, wouldn't I be able to launch a war against Wu Ming and gain a large amount of war points? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 253. Thinking of this, Lu Jin refocused his attention on the props he had just obtained. The card of worship of all nations and the card of enlightenment once. There were two colorful saint-level prop cards. Lu Jin first checked the Wangguo pilgrimage card. The name of this prop card was enough to make Lu Jin stay on it for a little longer. Lu Jin focused his attention on the pilgrimage card of all nations. Name: pilgrimage card of all nations. Quality: colorful holy products. Effect: after use, the special mission pilgrimage of all nations will be opened. All countries will be invited to worship Long Han. According to Long Han's reputation, the higher the reputation, the more countries will come to worship, and the more rewards will be obtained. After reading it, Lu Jin touched his chin and started thinking. It turned out to be a special mission card. It's a bit useless for Lu Jin now, after all, Long Han is not famous yet. However, this may not necessarily be the case if you complete this large-scale war copy yourself. By that time, he will have annexed the lands of four dynasties, and his strength and prestige will surely increase exponentially. Only when Long Han's prestige reaches its peak can he use this prop card to maximize his benefits. Thinking of this, Lu Jin put the prop card away. It's a good thing, but it's a pity that it appears at the wrong time. After putting away the All Nations pilgrimage card, Lu Jin took out another card. Once Enlightenment card. This name reminded Lu Jin of the enlightenment pill he had obtained before. I just don't know if the effect of this prop card is different from that of the enlightenment pill. Lu Jin checked the information on the one-day enlightenment card. Name: enlightenment card. Quality: colorful holy products. Effect: after use, any skill can be upgraded to the highest level. Very good. When he saw this effect, Lu Jin's face showed a hint of joy. Unexpectedly, this enlightenment card was even stronger than the previous enlightenment pill. You can actually specify any skill. Lu Jin didn't hesitate at all and decisively used the enlightenment card. Ding, Congratulations on successfully using the enlightenment card. Please choose the skills you want to improve. For this skill that needs to be improved, Lu Jin already has the best choice in mind. Choose promotion, Divine Thunder Technique. That's right. The billions of inspiration pills I obtained last time had improved the Divine Thunder Technique to an extremely terrifying level. But Lu Jin could feel that the layer of shackles that the Divine Thunder Technique needed to break through had not yet been completely broken through. This shackles is something that Lu Jin cannot break through now by relying on enlightenment. Only props can be used. Only by using the power of the system can you break through that layer of shackles. Ding, the Divine Thunder Technique has been upgraded to the highest level. At this moment, a thunder cloud appeared over Yizhu city. The lightning in the thunder cloud is like a dragon, rolling continuously in the clouds. The god of death Bai Qi, Len Yu, even such powerful people with godhood, felt a wave of heart palpitations. Thundercloud? No. This is Ji Yun. How is it possible? I obviously can't detect the existence of the thunder tribulation in this world, so why did the tribulation cloud suddenly appear? The god of death Bai Qi looked at the calamity clouds in the sky, his expression changed drastically. You know, once a practitioner breaks through, he will draw opportunities from heaven and earth. Heaven and earth cannot tolerate it. Once someone breaks through the shackles of cultivation, thunder and disaster will fall. And those who master thunder tribulation are nothing more than more powerful practitioners. In order to maintain the balance of heaven and earth, the more powerful practitioners have to suppress other practitioners. But such an order only exists in the developed world. The developed world needs balance to maintain. But now, the entire Hunyuan continent is like a new world. There will be no thunder disaster after the breakthrough. Opportunities are everywhere, and practitioners can take them at will. Originally, the god of death Bai Qi was still wondering, obviously this world didn't look like a new world at all. But why is there no one who controls the thunder tribulation? And now, thunder tribulation reappears. The person with the authority to judge appears again. I don't know what attitude this person who holds the power of divine punishment will have towards us holders of the divine head who have already broken through. At this moment, Bai Qi, the god of death, just felt a little aggrieved. I originally left my own world, but when I came here, I found that there was no thunder tribulation. He is like a bird stripped of its burden, practicing thousands of miles with each passing day. But now, thunder tribulation has appeared again. How can he be willing to do this? But at this moment, the robbery cloud actually disappeared. Ding, congratulations on your success in condensing the thunder godhead. Ding, your supreme godhead has a repulsive reaction to the thunder godhead. Ding, your supreme godhead begins to transform the thunder godhead. Ding, the godhead of thunder is promoted to the godhead of judgment. Listening to the system prompts in his mind, Lu Jin discovered that a third godhead actually appeared in his body. Moreover, this third godhead actually evolved into a more powerful godhead under the interference of the supreme godhead. At this moment, Lu Jin felt that his understanding of his supreme godhead was still too shallow. Taking a deep breath, Lu Jin took all the breath into his body. I already have 3 gods, but my cultivation has been stagnant. What's the matter? Lu Jin felt helpless for a while. He raised his hand and found that controlling the divine thunder was as easy as breathing. Not only that, he even discovered that his divine thunder was actually mixed with Heiran's righteousness. What the hell? Heiran is upright? True Heiran righteousness? This is a powerful existence that can ignore any defense and directly cause real injuries. You must know that even among the great Confucian scholars of the Dao and Song dynasties, only true Confucian sages can display pure Heiran righteousness. But now, the divine thunder in his hand contains terrifying righteousness. Such evolution made Lu Jin a little surprised. Back in the city, Lu Jin found that the god of death Bai Qi and others had gathered together. Seeing Lu Jin appear, the god of death Bai Qi immediately reported his discovery of Ji-yun to Lu Jin. Your Majesty, the appearance of Ji-yun in Yazhu city is probably a warning given to us by the kingdom of God. How do we respond? Kingdom of God, just hearing the name is enough to make people feel a faint pressure hanging over their hearts. And Lu Jin frowned slightly. Ji-yun? At this time, he seemed to have thought of something. I saw him operating his judgment godhead and using his divine thunder technique. In an instant, a calamity cloud appeared in the sky, and the black calamity cloud appeared over Yazhu city again. Is this the calamity cloud you are talking about? Seeing Lu Jin playing with Lei Ji in the palm of his hand, the god of death Bai Qi's eyes widened. It turns out that the person in charge of divine punishment is actually His Majesty. Doesn't this mean that all living beings in the Hunyuan realm who break through in the future must accept His Majesty's judgment? Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 254. Congratulations, Your Majesty, for taking control of the trial power. The god of death Bai Qi took a step forward and was the first to congratulate Lu Jin. When Lu Jin heard the words of the god of death Bai Qi, thoughts rose in his mind. Judgment authority. This authority that should have belonged to the gods now fell into his own hands. Doesn't this mean that the gods who originally had the power to judge have fallen? The fall of the gods, combined with all the previous information. Lu Jin boldly speculated that the Longxia Divine Congress had disappeared. In a city closest to Chang'an City, smoke was everywhere, and the defenders in the city were in chaos. Kuang Ma Chao and Ma Dianwei stood on the city wall. Under their feet were a large number of corpses of the defenders. The smell of blood filled the air, and Kuang Makao looked in the direction of Chang'an City, with the corners of his mouth raised slightly. Hey, Lao Dian, that direction is Chang'an City. I know, what's wrong? If you fart, just let it go. Magician Wei picked up a spear from the ground. With the spear in his hand, he looked in the direction of the city tower with stern eyes. Suddenly, Magician Wei clenched his spear and burst out with energy. Whoosh! The spear filled with true energy flew out instantly like a bullet. The spear penetrated the tower and directly killed several defenders behind the tower. We have almost defeated all the cities in the south, why not just take down Chang'an City in one go? Capturing Chang'an City and capturing the Demon King of Tang Dynasty is a great achievement. Before he finished speaking, Magician Wei snorted and interrupted his words. I knew you were holding back nothing. The order we received is to clear out the Demon Tang Nanfang City. Chang'an City is not under our control. If you attack Chang'an City, you are disobeying the order. This is a crime. Besides, it would be fine if you captured Chang'an City, but don't you have any idea about Chang'an City now? Now, under Long Han's attack, Yao Tang's troops have shrunk again. Now Chang'an City has millions of troops assembled. And without exception, these millions of troops are all the elites of Yao Tang. In addition, in Chang'an City, there are several immortal realm generals stationed there, and there are even divine realm ones. If you have nothing to do, just follow me and read more books. If you read more books, you wouldn't say such mindless things. The monarch of the Demon Tang Dynasty can command the generals of the divine realm. How weak can he be? Don't talk about conquering Chang'an City. With our small bodies, we will probably be beaten to death by the crowd as soon as we get close to Chang'an City. Magician Wei taunted, which made Kuang Makao feel annoyed. This old boy, who was just talking casually, actually made so many big arguments to himself. The point is, what he said is really right. Is it possible that reading books is really useful? At this moment, Magician Wei noticed the appearance of a familiar and powerful force. Boom! With a loud noise, Len Yun came first and landed on the other side of the city wall. Len Yun looked at the defenders around him and without any hesitation, the blade in his hand attacked like a violent storm. Immediately afterwards, a Long Han elite landed on the city wall. The weapon in his hand was even more powerful, and in a short time, the entire city wall was cleared. Kuang Ma Chao and Ma Dianwei rushed to the city wall. When they saw Len Yun and Long Han elite, they couldn't help but feel frightened in their hearts. Vanguard Army. Len Yun was a reward from the Pioneer Army, and these Long Han elites were obviously members of the Pioneer Army. His shots are sharp and he can kill the enemy without any fuss. Such elites, among the three armies of Long Han, are at least at the level of a centurion. But now, they all gathered here and began to eliminate all the Demon Tang defenders in the city. It's the Vanguard Army. The Vanguard is here, doesn't that mean His Majesty is here too? Magician Wei and Kuang Makao immediately put away their little thoughts. Looking around, they began to look for Lu Jin. You know, the leader of the Vanguard Army is Lu Jin. Since the Vanguard Army appears here, it means that Lu Jin must be here too. At this time, the city gate suddenly opened, and a group of Demon Tang cavalry gathered at the city gate. The leading cavalry general looked at the smoke-filled city behind him without any nostalgia in his eyes. Open the city gate, abandon the city, and head to Chang'an City immediately. Now all the main forces of Yaotang are in Chang'an City. As long as we can escape to Chang'an City, there will be a chance to return. Brothers, today's retreat is just for the future. One day, we will come back. The city gate opened, and all the Demon Tang cavalry tightened their reins. That's right. They also believed that as long as they escaped to Chang'an City, sooner or later they would have a chance to come back. But when the city gate opened, Lu Jin's figure appeared outside the city gate. One person, just one person, stood at the city gate, blocking the path of many Yaotang cavalry. When the Demon Tang cavalry leader saw this, a trace of madness appeared in his eyes. Court death. The Demon Tang cavalry drew their sharp blades and prepared to kill Lu Jin. But Lu Jin just glanced at them and released violent pressure. Suddenly, all the horses began to panic. Before those Demon Tang cavalrymen could move their horses, the crazy horses threw them off. The horses were in chaos, and many Demon Tang cavalrymen died under the horses' hooves during the trampling. The leading Yaotang generals shuttled back and forth among the many horses. They could have directly drawn out their sharp blades and killed these horses. But if the horse dies, can their legs support them to Chang'an City? Just when General Yaotang was hesitating, Lu Jin suddenly appeared in front of him. The moment he appeared, all the chaotic horses around him fell silent. Just the pressure of the breath was enough to make the surrounding Yaotang cavalry kneel to the ground, and their bodies could not stop shaking. The horses were huddled motionless in the corner. Lu Jin looked at the Demon Tang general in front of him and chuckled. Escape? Do you think you will be safe if you escape to Chang'an City? Why do you think everything will be fine if you escape to Chang'an City? Is it because of the millions of defenders, or is it because of the Demon Tang monarch and his losers? Looking at General Yaotang who could not stop shaking due to fear in front of him, Lu Jin narrowed his eyes and threw him to the ground. At this time, Len Yun suddenly appeared next to Lu Jin. Looking at the many Demon Tang cavalry on the ground, Len Yun was full of murderous intent, and the strong evil aura even seemed to condense into a solid substance. Your Majesty, do you want me to kill them? No, leave it to Bai Qi and ask him to interrogate these Demon Tang cavalry and ask for information about Chang'an City. Obviously, after learning that all the battlefields in all directions were defeated, the king of Yaotang once again shrunk Yaotang's territory. It can be said that the only city left in Yaotang's territory now is Chang'an City. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 255. But the remaining Chang'an City has now become the strongest fortress. With millions of elites, it would be difficult for any city to accommodate such a huge number of troops. But Chang'an City did it. On the thick and strong city wall, several artillery pieces and crossbows were placed on it. In addition to these fixed defenders, there is a garrison holding their posts 10 steps away. There are still a large number of defenders patrolling back and forth on the city wall. Even outside the city, there were patrols one after another, searching in the mountains and forests surrounding Chang'an City. It can be said that the Demon King of Tang has blocked all the ways to sneak attack on Chang'an City. The entire city of Chang'an is already a piece of iron. As for food and grass, then there is no need to worry. As a centuries-old lord, the monarch of Tang dynasty opened the treasury granary 100 years ago. The grain and grass stored in it are enough to feed 1 million troops for a month. Moreover, coupled with the grain and grass delivered from surrounding cities, Chang'an City will not have to worry about grain and grass at all. As long as they persist for a month, the other 3 dynasties will definitely react and send more powerful armies a month later. Yao Tang only needs to follow the general trend and take back all the land. I didn't expect that a little dragon man could put so much pressure on me. At this moment, the Demon King of Tang dynasty was fully armed and walking on the city wall. At the critical moment of life and death, he had no intention of continuing to sit in the court. And the many generals and advisors who followed him had no choice but to follow the Demon King of Tang dynasty. Your Majesty, there are many dangers on the city wall, please take care of your dragon body. Yes, Your Majesty, the sword has no eyes. If it hurts Your Majesty, we, the Demon Tang, will lose our backbone. Your Majesty, please take more rest. If your body collapses, it will be a huge loss to Yao Tang. Listening to these words, Monarch Tang felt a little bored. Let him rest. At this time, how can he still go to bed early? Chang'an City might be captured by Long Han at some point, and he would still be sleeping at that time. Wouldn't that make people laugh? Just when Monarch Tang was about to get angry, a patrol cavalry quickly came to the city. Traces of the Long Han army found. Coming. For a moment, all the defenders on the city wall began to become nervous. Even the generals and councillors stopped talking, and everyone stared at the horizon in the distance. Finally, a flag symbolizing Long Han rose from the horizon. The appearance of this flag made the atmosphere in the entire Chang'an city become solemn. Looking at the vanguard army getting closer and closer, King Yao Tang's eyes were full of anger. What is supposed to come has come. As the troops approached the city, Lu Jin raised his head and looked up at the city wall. His eyes just met the eyes of the Demon King of Tang dynasty. At this moment, Monarch Yao Tang directly released his aura without any hesitation. The pressure of divine power was like a mountain, attacking directly towards Long Han's army. Lu Jin immediately noticed the emergence of divine power. Godhead. Interesting. He actually has a godhead, and look at the military commanders and advisors on both sides of this person. It seems that the person in front of me is the monarch of Yao Tang, that is, the century-old lord. Thinking of this, Lu Jin was not afraid and also released his divine power. The moment Lu Jin's divine pressure appeared, the terrifying pressure was like a tiger, instantly swallowing up the Demon King's divine pressure. In an instant, the defenders on the entire city wall suffered a huge impact. The defender, who had weak willpower, foamed at the mouth and fainted. The Demon King of Tang dynasty looked pale and couldn't believe it. Why? It's also the pressure of divine power. Why was Lu Jin's divine power as a demigod so much more terrifying than his own divine power as a deity? This is not scientific. As for the generals and councillors, seeing that their majesty was being pushed down before the fight even started, a trace of worry appeared on their faces. But before the Demon King of Tang dynasty could recover, Lu Jin had already retreated into the military formation. He waved his hand, and several siege crossbows appeared behind him. Seeing these siege crossbows, Monarch Tang realized that he was going to take action for real. All siege artillery and siege crossbows are ready. Wait until they come into range and fire directly without giving them any chance to counterattack. King Yaotang immediately ordered that all the defenders immediately stand guard next to the equipment. But at this moment, Long Han's siege crossbow stopped outside their range. Seeing this scene, Lord Yaotang suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. Emission. With an order, Long Han Fang's siege crossbow was launched directly. It is about the size of a football and will explode as long as it is hit hard. It is 10 times more powerful than a star grenade. Now our range advantage is gone. In this case, prepare to use the second siege engine. He knew very well that if he continued to use the Fire Phoenix crossbow to attack, the benefits would not be too great. For a moment, the entire city wall turned into a sea of fire. It should be difficult to increase the range of something like a siege vehicle. Many people came and talked about it, and they couldn't help but feel a sense of fear towards Long Han. Seeing this, one of the generals immediately stood up. Because the things prepared to be thrown in the catapult are not those huge stones at all. Chi exploded and he dispersed all the flames. Not good. If the range is insufficient, they will move forward. But if they move forward, wouldn't they fall into their range? The moment they saw the catapult, many generals on the city wall felt their hearts skip a beat. The arrow flew out and turned into a fire phoenix, attacking directly towards the city wall. Whoosh! The fire phoenix arrow landed and exploded directly on the city wall. Before those generals could finish speaking, the second round of shooting struck again. I don't believe it. They can block the fire phoenix arrows, but they can't block the star catapult. The range of the siege crossbow on the other side is at least twice that of ours. Doesn't this expression just mean that Long Han is far superior to them, Demon Tang, in terms of strength and national power? This Long Han siege crossbow not only has twice the range of ours, it can actually fire continuously. But one special star bomb after another. The second branch, the third branch, the fourth branch. The catapult was pulled over. What is the Long Han army on the opposite side going to do? Rumble. A large amount of flames fell on the defenders, and the defenders immediately began to panic. 5 arrows in total. Star bomb. Boom. Seeing the incoming fire phoenix arrow, the military commander directly released the Genkai barrier and blocked the fire phoenix arrow in advance. Lu Jin looked at the Chi barriers rising up one after another on the city wall. At this moment, the Long Han army under the city put away the fire phoenix crossbow. However, they thought wrong again. Someone, pull up the catapult. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 256. Rumble. A specially made catapult was pushed up, with a huge body and a metal shell. Such a strange-looking catapult is naturally an enhanced version of the catapult built by Ouyuzi. The enhanced version of the catapult has a range that is more than 3 times that of the ordinary catapult. Even the defensive power is unmatched by ordinary catapults. The only flaw is that it is inconvenient to build and carry. Even the Vanguard army only carries 2 catapults. However, considering the throwing objects in the catapults, 2 seems to be enough. The 2 star catapults were fixed in place. The defenders on the city wall looked at the catapults in front of the Vanguard and couldn't help but talk about it. Catapults. What are they doing? What can 2 catapults do? Is it possible that they plan to throw their soldiers onto our walls? Are you kidding? His Majesty and other generals are here. 2 catapults can throw at most 2 people. Aren't they afraid of being beaten to death by us? Look, they loaded up the projectiles. Under the gaze of everyone, 2 members of the Pioneer Army carefully placed the star bomb on the catapult. The elite Long Han who was responsible for throwing couldn't help but remind him loudly when he saw this. You all be careful. Looking at the football-sized star bomb in front of them, they couldn't help but swallow. They have seen the power of star grenades. A fist-sized star grenade is enough to scare them. How can such a huge star bomb make them not nervous? The most important thing is that this football-sized star bomb is divided into two types. One is an ordinary version of the star bomb with true energy as its core energy. The other type is an enhanced version of the star bomb with divine power as its core energy. Now, the star bomb they are preparing to throw is an enhanced version of the star bomb. If this star bomb is accidentally detonated, you don't need Yao Tang to do anything. The power of the star bomb explosion alone is enough to lift the entire vanguard army away. Loading complete. Lu Jin looked at the city wall and raised his hand to point in the direction of the Demon Tang King. Emission. With an order, the two catapults were launched directly. The two star bombs were like meteors, attacking directly towards the city wall. Upon seeing this, the Demon King of Tang Dynasty looked coldly and raised his hand to take the arrow from a soldier. How dare you underestimate me, Demon Tang, with just two catapults trying to attack the city. Drawing out two arrows, Monarch Tang directly injected his divine power. For a moment, the ordinary arrows burst out with an astonishing aura. The arrows shimmered, and Monarch Tang looked at the two star bombs in the sky. Although he didn't know what it was, Lord Yao Tang sensed an unusual and dangerous aura from it. These two throwing objects must not be allowed to fall on the city wall. With a stern look in his eyes, Lord Yao Tang released his fingers. In an instant, the bow in his hand could no longer withstand the divine power and turned into powder. The two arrows turned into streams of light and directly hit the star bomb in the air. Seeing the two glowing arrows piercing the star bomb, the corners of Lu Jin's mouth raised slightly. Boom! Boom! The starry sky bomb suddenly exploded, and a huge heat wave swept through the entire Chang'an city like a storm. The huge impact directly knocked off the defenders on the city wall. A large number of defenders fell directly onto the city wall. The Demon King of Tang Dynasty stared wide-eyed and couldn't believe his own eyes. What the hell? What on earth is this? He obviously blew it up in the air, but even the aftermath of the explosion was so terrifying. It's hard to imagine what kind of horrific effect it would have had if this thing had fallen straight onto the city wall without stopping it. I'm afraid the walls of Chang'an City will collapse. The generals and advisors were also shocked, and at the same time they felt lucky to survive the disaster. Fortunately, His Majesty blew that thing up in advance, otherwise it would have fallen on the city wall and caught them off guard, and they might really have been hit. But before they could get too happy, two more star bombs struck. Seeing these two starry sky bombs, not only the monarch of Tang Dynasty, but also the generals and advisors were frightened to death. One of the generals immediately stood up and drew his bow and arrow. Almost out of survival instinct, they immediately exploded the two star bombs. Boom! Boom! But that's normal. If it were him, he wouldn't be able to bear being bombarded like this. He knew very well that if those siege equipment were not destroyed. After some investigation, Direnja shook his head. He did not sense a large-scale ambush. Lu Jin smiled, touched his chin and looked towards Chang'an City. And the military general Li Kungzhou came to the Demon King of Tang Dynasty. Long Han's army can keep harassing them until they are physically and mentally exhausted. At this moment, Len Yun's ears moved. It seemed that Yao Tang couldn't hold it any longer after all. I accept your order. I beg your majesty to allow me to lead my troops to attack the Long Han army from the south gate, and at least destroy their siege equipment. And this person is none other than Direnja, the counselor of the Demon Tang Dynasty. At the north city gate, Len Yun leaned on a tree branch and looked boredly in the direction of the city gate. Boom! Boom! On the city wall, round after round of star bombs struck, and all the generals and counselors tensed their nerves. Lu Jin can make many mistakes, but if they make one mistake, they will be blown away. Li Kungzhou led a group of Demon Tang cavalry out of the north city gate. How about it? Lord Di, Can there be an ambush? Lu Jin, who was under the city wall, saw that several figures on the city wall had disappeared, and he immediately understood. The city gate is open. Otherwise, if they continue to harass us like this, we won't dare to relax at all, and it will definitely consume a lot of energy over time. Your Majesty, this is not the way to go. After receiving Derenja's confirmation, Li Kengxiu breathed a sigh of relief. Another heat wave is coming. At that time, when they were most vulnerable, it would be extremely easy for the Longhan army to capture Chang'an city. Derenja looked around and released his divine sense. As long as they dare to lead their troops out of the city, they will never come back. I just don't know which city gate the opponent will come out from and sneak around to attack. With almost no hesitation, King Tang immediately agreed to Li Kengxiu's proposal. In order to prevent this from happening, their siege equipment must be destroyed. Next to Li Kengxiu, there was an advisor who served as a military advisor to assist Li Kengxiu. The next second, the terrifying shockwave struck again, and they were blown away again, landing on the land below the city wall. In addition to the frontal attack on the city gate, he deployed men at the other 3 city gates. That's right. The defenders who had just fallen off the city wall had not yet climbed onto the city wall. Prime Minister Chang Soon-Wiji took a step forward. Today, Chang Soon-Wiji was disgraced and could not see the slightest trace of the demeanor of a monstrous prime minister of the Tang dynasty. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 257. No ambush. Very good. Next, it's time for you to take action. Now Long Hanjun's attention is on the frontal battlefield. He only needs to go around and destroy the siege equipment. That will be a great achievement. Thinking of this, Li Kengxiu felt a weight on his shoulders. For the sake of Chang'an City and Yaotang, this operation can only succeed, not fail. But just when they were less than 100 meters away from the city wall, suddenly, Len Yun's figure appeared in front of Yaotang's cavalry. The moment he saw Len Yun, Li Kengxiu didn't care. At first glance, he mistook Len Yun for a refugee who fled to Chang'an City. Untouchable, get out of here. Li Kengxiu scolded him unceremoniously. Untouchable. These 2 short words seemed to bring back some bad memories for Len Yun. In an instant, a strong evil spirit swept through the entire Yaotang team like a wave. The horses panicked and didn't dare to move any further. It was at this time that Li Kengxiu realized something was wrong. Not good. It's an enemy attack. Li Kengxiu immediately drew out his blade and was about to fight back. He only felt a chill on his neck. What? Len Yun didn't know when he appeared behind him. The cold blade has now landed on his neck. But Li Kengxiu felt a chill all over his body, and then he burst out with the most terrifying pressure of qi in his life. The infuriating pressure was released, and the huge pressure made Len Yun unable to help but retreat. After Len Yun left, Li Kengxiu touched his neck, and a flash of scarlet came into his eyes. As long as he was slower for 1 second, he had no doubt that the opponent's blade would definitely slit his throat. Li Kengxiu suppressed his inner fear and mobilized his energy to repair his wounds. Len Yun on the opposite side had cold eyes, looking at Li Kengxiu and Derenja as if they were looking at 2 prey. Godhead emerges. Divine power explodes. Len Yun's move is his killer move. Sensing the emergence of divine power, Derenja turned pale. How can it be? Another existence with Godhead. At this time, Len Yun appeared in front of Derenja. She stood on the horse as if death were coming. Damn it! Derenja wanted to fight back, but Len Yun was faster than him. Brush. A blade popped out from Len Yun's shoe. Len Yun raised his feet and split Derenja's head in half with the sharp blade. Seeing his colleague die in front of him, Li Kengxiu felt that the blood all over his body was about to solidify. But Len Yun just glanced at him, and when he raised his hand, Several flying knives containing divine power struck him. Li Kungzhou immediately raised the weapon in his hand to resist. The moment the weapon blade touched the flying knife, it shattered. The cold light flashed across, and Li Kungzhou felt a sharp pain on his face. The blood stained the whole cheek along with the wound. But before Li Kungzhou could use his energy to recover from his injuries, the familiar voice sounded in his ears. "I won't miss this time." At the whisper of death, Li Kungzhou felt as if all the strength in his body had been drained away. The world was spinning for a while, and the last thing he saw was his headless body riding on a horse. Seeing the two generals being killed in the blink of an eye, the remaining Yaotang cavalry looked pale and could not even control the horses beneath them. All the horses stood there shivering. But Len Yun just played with the blade in his hand and looked around. "Leave no one behind." Just 4 words decided the fate of these demon Tang cavalry. The defenders on the city wall looked at the nightmare-like scene in front of them, their faces turned pale, and their legs could not stop shaking. "Hurry, go and report." Before the defender could finish speaking, Len Yun appeared on the city wall. With a raised hand, he killed the defenders with one strike of his sword. Then, she looked at the other defenders. Not long after, the entire city wall was covered in the strong smell of blood. After killing the defenders on the city wall, Len Yun looked at the battlefield in front and began to wait for Lu Jin's instructions. "Ding, congratulations on successfully killing the famous character Li Kungzhou. Here's your reward, a golden legendary treasure chest." "Ding, congratulations on successfully killing the famous character De Renja. Here's your reward, a golden legendary treasure chest." Oh! Unexpectedly, the system prompt came over so quickly. Lu Jin touched his chin and waved his hand to signal the catapult to stop throwing. The catapult attack stopped, and the generals on the city wall were already exhausted physically and mentally. When they noticed that the catapult attack had stopped, the king of Tang dynasty and many military commanders and advisors had a bad premonition in their hearts. Sure enough, the next second, Lu Jin waved his hand. Longhan elite swarmed in and charged directly towards the city wall. The defenders on the city wall were already exhausted physically and mentally. Seeing many Longhan elites attacking, they didn't know how to deal with it for a while. "What are you still doing?" Looking at the generals and defenders around him, Monarch Tang felt tired. At this moment, Jin Long came to the city wall first. Dragon power is released. In an instant, the surrounding Yaotang generals and the soldiers guarding the city were all shrouded in dragon power. Everyone's combat power dropped rapidly under Long Wei's suppression. When the other generals saw this, they immediately surrounded him. Divine Realm. After noticing the aura of the Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard, they all couldn't help but swallow. But the Demon King of Tang Dynasty felt awe-inspiring and took a step forward. "Leave this guy to me. This is Chang'an City, and you won't be allowed to be presumptuous." The pressure of the Divine Realm is released. The monarch of the Demon Tang Dynasty took a step forward, preparing to deal with the Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard. But before he could take action, a voice sounded behind him. "No, your opponent should be me." Lu Jin stood behind the Demon King of Tang Dynasty, with a relaxed and content expression on his face. The moment he climbed onto the city wall, the outcome of the battle was already determined. After hearing Lu Jin's voice, Monarch Tang turned around. At this time, Lu Jin could see that the Demon King of Tang Dynasty in front of him had a young face. But there are vicissitudes of life in him that do not belong to his age. Is this the Centennial Lord? Apart from the dead Emperor Manhu, this was the first time Lu Jin saw a living century-old lord. Thinking of this, Lu Jin drew out the Xianyuan ancient sword. An aura belonging to a divine weapon emanates from Xianyuan ancient sword. Monarch Tang, who sensed the aura of the artifact, looked slightly moved. He is obviously just a demigod, but he possesses several artifacts throughout his body, and even has a godhead with him. With such a monstrous luck, If it had been placed on him back then, how could he have curled up like this little monster? Thinking of this, Monarch Tang felt a flame called jealousy burning in his chest. It seems that there must be an understanding between us today. Godhead is released. At this moment, Monarch Tang directly used his divine power. There is no temptation, only trying your best. The winner lives, the loser dies. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 258. Today, only one of you and I can survive. The sharp blade was unsheathed, and the long sword containing dragon energy and divine power appeared in the hands of the Demon King. At this moment, his aura began to rise. The armor on his body exudes suffocating pressure, and he does not show any signs of decadence at this moment. This battle is a national war. A national war between two people. Lu Jin raised his head slightly and looked at Monarch Tang. He also knew very well that the outcome between the two would determine the final outcome of Long Han and Yao Tang. Lu Jin mobilized his divine power at the same time, and Xian Yuan ancient sword exuded a faint pressure. The next second, Lu Jin disappeared. The Demon King of Tang Dynasty reacted even more quickly, and his eyes quickly searched around. Finally, he found Lu Jin's figure. In the air. Seeing Lu Jin standing in the void, looking down at him, Monarch Tang's face became even more gloomy. Do you want to change to a broader battlefield? It just so happened that the king of Demon Tang Dynasty also had some scruples. If two beings with Godhead fought with all their strength, the residual power it exudes is enough to destroy the entire Chang'an city. Thinking of this, the Demon King of Tang disappeared instantly. When he appeared, he was already on Lu Jin's left. Before Lu Jin could turn around, divine power had already been injected into the blade. Die. It's a killer move. The sword energy, which looked like a crescent moon, attacked Lu Jin directly. This blow contained 30% of the Demon King's divine power. Its power even makes the surrounding space begin to distort. Sensing the power of the sword energy, Lu Jin chuckled. It seems that this Demon King of Tang Dynasty really hates him to the core. Without any temptation, the killing move is a killing move with 30% divine power. The sharp blade struck directly at Lu Jin, but Lu Jin did not dodge. Since it is a killing move, it must have locked itself. No matter how hard I try to dodge, this sword energy will definitely hit. Therefore, he can only resist. Use your own divine power to resist this sword energy. Godhead moves. Lu Jin injected divine power into the 9-dragon helmet. Roar. With a dragon roar, 9 golden dragons flew out of the 9-dragon helmet. 9 golden dragons circled around Lu Jin, turning into shields. Boom. The sword energy collided with the golden dragon, and a huge shockwave spread in all directions. People as far away as Chang'an City were also affected at the same time. The Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard was the first to react and immediately put up a chi barrier to resist. The terrifying shockwave fell on the Genkai barrier, and the Genkai barrier in the divine realm began to shake, and layers of ripples appeared above the barrier. It's such a terrifying pressure, even my chi barrier can't even hold it back. Is this the difference between divine power and true energy? The Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard reacted quickly and immediately held up the chi barrier to resist. But the Yaotang general on the opposite side was not so lucky. The shockwave was like a huge tentacle, hitting the general's body hard. In just an instant, the armor on the Yaotang general's body shattered and turned into countless fragments. And I flew out directly, vomiting blood. This huge shockwave had already damaged his internal organs. Other military officers and soldiers were also more or less harmed by the aftermath. However, compared to Demon Tang Fang, the vanguard army here is all elite, so the losses are much smaller. As for Lu Jin's defense alone, he directly used 50% of his divine power to resist the Demon Tang King's sword energy. Sensing Lu Jin's exertion, Monarch Tang laughed loudly. Did you see that even though you have divine power, so what? The gap between your cultivation levels is destined to defeat you at my hands next. The gloom on the face of Monarch Tang disappeared and was replaced by high spirits. He has seen the results of victory. Lu Jin spent half of his divine power just to block his sword energy. So what will he use to fight him next? Lu Jin looked at Monarch Tang, with the mocking smile still on his face. Are you good at fighting? As soon as he finished speaking, the Supreme Godhead began to operate. In an instant, Lu Jin turned into the only spiritual vortex in the world. The spiritual power entered Lu Jin's body, transformed into true energy, and almost instantly transformed into divine power. In the blink of an eye, Lu Jin's divine power was restored to 80%. Seeing this scene, Monarch Tang's eyes widened and he couldn't believe his eyes. What's the situation? How could Lu Jin's supernatural power recover so quickly? Next, it's my turn. You have to block it. For a moment, Lu Jin poured all his divine power into Xianyuan Ancient Sword. Xianyuan Ancient Sword buzzed. Dragon energy resonates. Artifact activated. At this moment, the power of Xianyuan Ancient Sword reached the most terrifying peak in history. No. There was a hint of fear in the eyes of the Demon King of Tang Dynasty. His instinct told himself that he couldn't stop it. Lu Jin must not be released. But now Lu Jin didn't have time to think too much. The divine thunder in his hand struck directly at the Demon Tang King like a sharp arrow. Brush. More like a breakthrough. It seems like everything has lost its luster. This shows that he still has a trump card that he has not used yet. The flaw that Lu Jin deliberately sold was to get the Demon King of Tang to get closer to him. With almost no hesitation, the Demon Tang King immediately attacked Lu Jin. The Demon King of Tang Dynasty laughed loudly. I admit that you are very strong. If you and I were at the same time, I might not be as good as you. Cut. We must interrupt his attack before he completes charging. At such a close distance, this blow can be said to be a sure kill. King Yao Tang suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Even though he was covered in wounds, he still had a chance to make a comeback. Never give the enemy the slightest chance to make a comeback. Lu Jin, who was standing in the air, narrowed his eyes slightly and thought to himself. Is he going to break through? The next second, Monarch Tang was like a meteor, smashing into the soil. When he raised his hand, the divine thunder in his hand had been condensed. Lu Jin looked at the Demon Tang King in the pit and didn't give him the slightest chance. He looked embarrassed and no longer had the same demeanor as before, but the look he looked at Lu Jin still had fighting spirit. At this moment, everyone on the city wall stopped fighting. In the world, only Lu Jin's strike has brilliance. That's right. Lu Jin frowned slightly. Something was wrong. This trend of his didn't look like he was recovering. At this moment, heaven and earth are extinguished. At this moment, the pressure of his aura continued to rise. In the deep pit, the Demon King of Tang climbed out of the mud. The Demon King of Tang Dynasty was hit by Xianyuan Ancient Sword. The earth cracked and a huge pit appeared near Chang'an City. Lu Jin smiled faintly and took out a yin-yang stone in the eyes of Monarch Tang. A large amount of divine power flew out from his fingertips and penetrated directly into his body. But now, I am 100 years ahead of you. It's over? You were indeed fooled. Can we continue to break through beyond the divine human realm? Unexpectedly, this guy is not dead yet. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 259. Originally, I planned to use this trump card again when dealing with those monsters. But I didn't expect that you are so powerful. You should feel honored. I may be the only existence you have come into contact with that transcends the realm of gods and humans. At this moment, the Demon King's cultivation reached its peak. The breath surges. That layer symbolizes the bottleneck restriction, which is about to be broken. Click. The divine thunder fell, and a transparent barrier immediately appeared around Demon Tang King. Only when Lu Jin saw this transparent barrier did he understand. It turns out that the Demon King of Tang Dynasty had already anticipated the situation and had actually set up a barrier around it. Lu Jin took a deep breath. It looked like he was about to use some of his trump cards. But at this moment, Lu Jin's ear suddenly heard a system prompt. Ding, it's detected that a creature is about to break through. Will there be a thunder disaster? What's the situation? Lu Jin looked at the system panel that suddenly appeared in front of him, feeling a little puzzled. But then, his judgment god had actually started to operate on its own. Rumble. A layer of dark clouds suddenly appeared in the sky. Dark clouds enveloped the sky, and rolling thunder began to roll among the clouds. When the Demon King of Tang Dynasty saw the sudden appearance of calamity clouds in the sky, his eyes widened and his mentality exploded. How is it possible? The law of thunder tribulation obviously disappeared 100 years ago, so why does it suddenly appear again now? Originally, the Demon King of Tang Dynasty planned to use the divine power generated when he broke through to feed himself to break through the restrictions and kill Lu Jin. Look at the appearance of Lei Ji now, which completely disrupted all his plans. How can it be? Thunder tribulation disappeared for so many years, why did it suddenly appear again? If he were to survive the tribulation in his current situation, wouldn't he be seeking death? When Lu Jin heard the words of the Demon King of Tang Dynasty, he immediately reacted, so that's it? He finally understood what the sudden system prompt was. The original laws regarding thunder tribulation between heaven and earth have disappeared. But after Lu Jin successfully condensed the Godhead of Judgment, the law of thunder tribulation was once again completed. The Demon King of Tang originally wanted to break through directly and catch Lu Jin by surprise. Who would have thought that the sudden thunder tribulation would become the sword chosen over his head? My choice is to bring down thunder. The moment Lu Jin chose to lower the thunder tribulation, he quickly retreated out of the range of the thunder tribulation. At this moment, he could also feel the divine power in his body passing away rapidly. Divine power was injected into the calamity clouds in the sky, and thunder calamity began to brew. Boom! The first thunder disaster fell. The thunderbolt as thick as a bucket fell directly on the Demon King of Tang Dynasty. And Lu Jin felt that most of the divine power in his body was missing. Is this the power of thunder tribulation? The Demon King Tang at the bottom of the pit has now become a piece of coke. But the thunder calamity in the sky did not disappear, which means that the Demon King of Tang Dynasty is still alive. This guy's vitality is really tenacious. Feeling the divine power that is still being extracted from the body, Lu Jin knew very well that the power of thunder tribulation came from the divine power in his body. If his divine power is exhausted, the thunder tribulation is likely to dissipate. But the corners of Lu Jin's mouth raised slightly. What he lacked most was divine power. The Supreme Godhead is in motion. In an instant, the surrounding spiritual energy poured into Lu Jin's body again. Divine power begins to recover rapidly. For a time, the speed at which Ji-Yun extracted divine power was actually not as fast as the speed at which the Supreme Godhead was produced. Rumble. At this moment, the pressure of the second thunderstorm began to sweep across the earth. The terrifying pressure even woke up the Demon Tang King, who was unconscious at the bottom of the pit. Feeling the pressure of the second thunder, Demon Tang Qiujun felt his legs become weak. There is actually a thunder tribulation? Just taking the first thunder tribulation had already expended all his energy. Moreover, the pressure of this second thunder tribulation is several times greater than that of the first thunder tribulation. Heaven is going to kill me. No. Even if he dies, he still needs someone to support him. This thought suddenly flashed through his mind, and Monarch Tang suddenly looked in Lu Jin's direction. Lu Jin also looked at him, their eyes facing each other. Suddenly, the Demon King Tang directly attacked Lu Jin like a madman. Looking at the monarch of Tang dynasty who was approaching rapidly, Lu Jin raised his hand and then tapped it with his index finger. Boom! The pure white thunder instantly drowned the Demon Tang King. When the thunder dispersed, what remained in place was a wisp of fly ash. System announcement: the king of Yaotang has been killed, and all the lords of Yaotang faction will be converted into ownerless camps. System announcement: more than 50% of the territory of Yaotang was annexed by Long Han, and Yaotang was destroyed. System announcement: the capital of Demon Tang Kingdom has been occupied. Congratulations to Long Han for successfully annexing Demon Tang. In Chang'an City, Lu Jin came to the palace. There was silence in the palace. Looking around, corpses were everywhere, and blood filled the entire palace. The entire city of Chang'an fell into endless chaos. But Lu Jin didn't care, let alone stopped him. He only had one goal. We arrived at the palace where the Demon King of Tang dynasty lived, and it was violently demolished. Lu Jin quickly found the location of the secret room. Entering the secret room, Lu Jin ignored the gold and silver jewelry. He had only one goal. Key. Unlock the key to the Demon Tang Emperor's tomb. Emperor Manhu once said that if you want to know the secret of the century-old lord, you can only go to the tomb of the Demon Tang Emperor. All the secrets are buried there. Therefore, no wealth is more tempting than the secret of a century-old lord. Lu Jin finally reached the depths of the secret room. Deep in the secret room, Lu Jin finally found the key to the Imperial Mausoleum. Name: key to the Imperial Tomb, Demon Tang. Quality: special and unique. Effect: the key to unlocking the Imperial Mausoleum of the Demon Tang dynasty can only be held by the monarch of the Demon Tang dynasty. Looking at the ordinary key in his hand, Lu Jin narrowed his eyes. This is the key to the Imperial Mausoleum, the key to the century-old lord's secret. After putting away the key, Lu Jin was able to carefully observe the structure of the secret room. It has to be said that Monarch Tang really put a lot of thought into building this secret room. This secret room is located just below his bedroom. The entire secret room is made of materials that can isolate spiritual power. Even if someone comes to explore his bedroom, it is estimated that it will be difficult to find this secret room. If he hadn't searched for the keys to the Imperial Mausoleum and violently demolished the entire palace, it would have been difficult to discover this secret room. At this moment, the ancient Qianyuan sword on Lu Jin's waist hummed. Sensing something strange, Lu Jin found that Qianyuan ancient sword was moving in a certain direction and wanted to leap over. Lu Jin looked in the direction and found a clue on a weapons rack. A broken blade stained with dried blood. And it was this broken blade that actually appeared in the private chamber of the Demon King of Tang dynasty. This is enough to show that this broken blade must have an extraordinary origin. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 260. Taking a step forward, Lu Jin approached the broken blade. As he stepped forward step by step, a faint pressure came from the broken blade. Interesting. Now, I have 3 divine heads, and the pressure of divine power can even make ordinary gods and human beings tremble. But now, the pressure of the broken blade in front of me can even make me feel a little pressure. Really discovering it by accident, Lu Jin stepped forward and grabbed the broken blade. Almost instantly, the broken blade exuded a huge aura. This breath contains killing, hatred, unwillingness. All the negative emotions in the world seem to be contained in this broken blade. Lu Jin looked at the broken blade in front of him. The Qianyuan ancient sword at his waist was now silent. Even the 9-dragon helmet seemed to be covered by the negative energy of the broken blade and became dim. At this moment, Lu Jin could confirm the identity of the broken blade in front of him. Artifact. It is a true artifact, an artifact that has experienced hundreds of battles. Unlike the original Viking artifact Battle Axe, that artifact had not been baptized and had only the quality of an artifact. But now, even the broken blade in his hand can suppress the Xianyuan ancient sword and the nine-dragon helmet. But you are nothing more than a broken blade now. How dare you act so arrogantly even if you are just a remnant? Lu Jin snorted coldly, and the three divine heads were operating at the same time. At this moment, a tide of divine power enveloped the broken blade in front of him. In the stormy sea, all negative energy was suppressed. Broken Blade still wanted to resist, but its power was as powerless as a small boat in the storm when faced with the suppression of the divine power of Lu Jin's three divine figures. I don't know how long it took, but the broken blade dissipated its pressure. At this moment, an attribute panel appeared in front of Lu Jin. Name Ruined Blade. Quality Red God Level. Required for repair any Red God Level materials, God Level Beast Blood, Master Swordsmith. Introduction: the artifact that once dominated the world and made the gods tremble is now just a broken blade buried in a corner. Really? After seeing the properties panel, the corners of Lu Jin's mouth raised slightly. It is indeed a treasure, but this treasure's temper is a bit irritable. No wonder it was thrown into the corner by the Demon King Tang. With the strength of the monarch of Demon Tang, it is estimated that he cannot even see the attribute panel of Broken Blade. So what if he saw it? Just any one of the repair conditions is enough to give him a headache. Lu Jin put away the broken blade. He had other plans for this incomplete artifact. Afterwards, Lu Jin continued to search in the secret room. As the secret room of the Demon Tang King, there must be more treasures. At this moment, Lu Jin was attracted by the divine picture on the wall. He took a step forward and focused his gaze on the divine map. Name God Picture. Quality Unique and Special. Effect: the number and location of the gods in each area can be displayed. Oh! This thing is quite interesting. No wonder Lord Yaotang knew about his attainment of divine status. It turned out to be because of this divine picture. Lu Jin looked at the divine map and his eyes fell on the Longxia area. It can be seen that most of the gods in the Longxia area are concentrated in Xuxia, followed by Xianqin. It's no wonder, after all, these two dynasties are the leaders of the Longxia region. The distribution of godhead is closely related to national power. At this time, Lu Jin set his sights on other countries. Suddenly, he raised his eyebrows. In the area of Kangaroo Country, a few scattered lights of Godhead were suddenly extinguished. Immediately afterwards, a system notification sounded in Lu Jin's ears. World announcement: Kangaroo Kingdom has been destroyed. World announcement: all the national destiny of Kangaroo Country has disappeared. World announcement: the Kangaroo Kingdom is destroyed and all Kangaroo Lords are wiped out. This news was like a huge stone, instantly causing thousands of waves in the world channel. Kangaroo Country just disappeared? It was so sudden that even the lords of other countries did not react. And in Lu Jin's mind, the existence that once appeared in Gao Tianyuan suddenly appeared again. Is that it? Is it starting to take action again? Lu Jin put away the divine map, his heart felt extremely heavy. We must improve our strength as soon as possible. Who can guarantee that the next being to be devoured will be Longxia? Thinking of this, Lu Jin looked around and collected everything in the secret room. After putting it away, Lu Jin took the key to the Imperial Mausoleum and walked out of the secret room. And just after Lu Jin walked out of the secret room, Shen Zuj and others also gathered in Chang'an City. Nowadays, all the main cities in the east, west, north, and south directions of Yaotang have been occupied by Long Han. Although they only occupied it in a hurry, as long as the follow-up troops can be replenished, they can occupy the entire Yaotang territory as quickly as possible. Everyone gathered in Chang'an City, the capital of the Demon Tang Kingdom. Yao Daji found Lu Jin immediately and saw the solemn look on Lu Jin's face. Yao Daji, who was still a little happy, immediately put away the smile on her face. Your Majesty, now that we have captured Yeotang, do we want to continue attacking other dynasties? When others heard this, they couldn't help but look at Lu Jin. Naturally, their thoughts are different. Generals like Kuang Makao and Madian Wei naturally hope to continue fighting. As the war continues, their military exploits will increase. However, Shenzhou and other advisors took a more long-term view. If they continued to fight, they would not only have to digest the Demon Tang territory, but also fight 3 dynasties at the same time. There may not be any problems in the short term, but what about the long term? War consumes national power. If the war is won by force, all that will be left behind is a man riddled with holes. Is it really worth it? Lu Jin narrowed his eyes slightly and looked in the direction of Xianqin. The other 2 dynasties are no match for him. If he devotes all the strength of Long Han's country, he is confident that he can win Wuming or Daesong within a month. But the only thing that worries me is Xianqin. Immortal Qin, Xiuxia, Kingdom of God, and that unknown existence. Lu Jin analyzed all the pros and cons, and finally made the safest decision. Send 3 envoys to Xianqin, Wuming, and Daesong. Invite the kings of the 3 kingdoms to come to Chang'an City. Inviting the other countries' king to come? I'm afraid this is not the Hungmen banquet. At this time, Lu Jin also had his own plans. Now that an unknown existence appears again, there is no guarantee that the next target will be Long Xia. Long Xia can no longer continue the civil war. If an unknown entity appears during the civil war, their only end will be death. Therefore, Lu Jin changed his attitude. From conquest to alliance. If we can form an alliance with powerful dynasties such as Xianqin and Xiuxia, we may not have the capital to fight against unknown beings. Of course, Lu Jin also thought about the situation where they disagreed. Therefore, the war will not end until there is an alliance.